Browns 13-10 winners here in Cleveland over the previously undefeated, I should say, Green Bay Packers. And we've just got to talk about on this video how this game finished, because for about 56 minutes, it felt like the Packers were going to win this game, that it was going to be another effort by the Browns defense thwarted by a struggling offense. But then Mary Kay, everything changed on one play when Matt LaFleur called a play that he said after the game he regretted. Jordan Love threw a football that Grant Delpit intercepted and took down to the 4-yard line. And that was the first of a series of events the Browns win this game.
Right. I mean, they scored all 13 of their points in the final 3:38 of this football game. It was an Andre Szmyt 35-yard field goal. It was Grant's interception, setting the Browns up on the 4. It was Quinshon Judkins' touchdown. It was Shelby Harris's blocked field goal. And then, of course, Andre Szmyt's game-winning 55-yard field goal as time expired. It was unbelievable. I mean, we were sitting here trying to write during the game like we always have to do, and it was basically impossible. I think we all just wanted to just throw the computer somewhere and go down and start getting quotes. But it was wild. It was crazy. There was rain. Fans left. The sun came out. They won the game. It was bizarre.
Yeah, and Ashley, that interception by Grant was so significant because obviously we've documented this in these videos, on podcasts, on our website. This team has not been able to force a turnover. A 4-game drought overall. You got to go all the way back to that game in Denver in December, that Monday Night Football game, for the last time they had an interception. For Grant himself, you've got to go back to week 2 against Pittsburgh, the game Nick Chubb got hurt, the last time he forced a turnover. So a lot of demons exercised with just that one play.
Gosh, so many demons that were exercised there. And I think I said this to you, Dan, on our post-game pod. That was the exact moment I started changing the tone of what I was writing, because it just felt that was the kind of tide-turning play this team needed. That pick, I mean, Grant almost scored. He got them to the Green Bay 4-yard line, set up that easy touchdown, and at that point, it's like anything could happen. Shelby Harris, Jokey kept using the word inevitable, and it truly felt like that. And I think the interception was the thing that made a win here feel really possible.
And then, of course, you've got the Andre Szmyt side of this. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were sitting in this booth shooting a video talking about, do you even continue with Andre Szmyt as your kicker? Because he missed an extra point. He missed a field goal. It cost them that game against Cincinnati. And here we are, Mary Kay. Andre Szmyt, obviously the story of this football game, as he makes the longest walk-off kick in Browns history.
He really did. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. It was amazing to see him step up there and nail that kick. I wasn't sure it was going to go through, and lo and behold, it did. He raced all the way down to the opposite side of the field, jumped into the dog pound, where he was celebrated by all these fans who were also celebrating the 40th anniversary of the dog pound. Hanford Dixon was here, Frank Minifield was here, Bernie Kosar was here. It was just ready-made for a fantastic finish. Good for Andre, and of course he had an emotional thing going on too.
Right, and Ashley, you had a chance to talk to him about that after the game.
Yeah, he's been dealing since he's been with the Browns. The unexpected death of his mom. His mom died 10 days before he was supposed to report to training camp. Obviously, the Browns have known what's going on, but Andre said he didn't want to let the outside world know what he was dealing with, really until a moment like this one. He said after the Bengals game, he didn't want people to feel sorry for him or to feel like he was using that as an excuse for missing kicks he thought he should have made. But it's obviously been weighing on him. He says he feels like he's navigating it every day, dealing with a loss like that, leaning on the rest of his family, leaning on his teammates. And really, I think the reaction from his teammates today in the post-game locker room really was because they know everything he's been dealing with outside of actually playing football.
Now, we've got to talk a little bit about this offense. And the one thing that winning this football game does is it kind of quiets, at least for a little while, any noise around the quarterback position. Joe Flacco, once again, Kevin Stefanski sticking with Joe Flacco, and he buys himself a little more time now, Mary Kay. Look, this offense struggled. They needed a lot of help from this defense. Credit to them for coming through with that touchdown and then that drive to get into field goal range. But at least everybody can take a sigh of relief and you get to go one more week feeling okay about Joe Flacco as your starting quarterback.
Right. I think the thing that you have to look at here is that final drive where he had to get Andre Szmyt in position to kick that 55-yard field goal. Those were some tense moments. With 12 seconds left, he had to step up. And facing a 3rd and 2, he hit David Njoku with an 8-yard pass over the middle. This kick doesn't happen probably unless that play happens. Then, of course, he had to spike it really quick with 3 seconds left. Green Bay calls a timeout, ices the kicker, and Andre finishes the job. But that is a veteran moment. These are the reasons why maybe it's not time to play rookie ball just yet. Again, it was a barren wasteland of offense for the first 56 minutes of the game. But let's remember here, a new sheriff just showed up in town named Quinshon Judkins, and the Browns are suddenly going to have a running game. He rushed for 94 yards against the second-ranked run defense. Going forward, Joe will have run support.
And of course, you're able to do this in part because Ashley, this defense was so dominant for so much of this game, and we had the two best defenses in football on the field, and it looked like it through most of the day.
Oh, it absolutely looked like it. And I mean, it should be noted too, both of these teams were dealing with a lot of O-line issues. I mean, the Packers, I lost track of how many different combinations they were moving guys around because of a handful of injuries. The Browns obviously didn't have Jack Conklin. They lost DeJuan Jones to a knee injury 4 snaps in. So these defenses, I thought, both took advantage, but I thought the Browns took advantage a little bit better in terms of the quarterback pressure they were able to create. They finished with 5 sacks as a team. Could have been 6 sacks. Carson Schlesinger had one taken away because the Browns had 12 men on the field. But those sacks were all spread out. I think it was 7 different guys because of the whole half sack thing as well. So they just did, I think, a phenomenal job of taking advantage of the Packers' offensive line woes, better than Green Bay did of taking advantage of the Browns' offensive line issues.
Well, look, too much happened in that last 4 minutes, really in the whole 60 minutes, but especially in that last 4 minutes to cover here on one video. So we have it all covered at cleveland.com/Browns.